I once read the words of a hospice nurse. Of all the things she heard, one regret stayed with her the most. I wish I had spent more time with my parents. She worked in a place where people didn't get better. A hospice, a quiet room, a final chapter. And every day she listened to people just days or weeks from the end. They weren't angry, they weren't afraid, but they were full of regret. Not about what they did, but about what they didn't do. And over time, she began to notice the same regrets, again and again. There were 7 that came up most often. Today I want to share them with you, in case you're still early enough to choose a different ending. Chapter 1. I wish I had lived true to myself. A woman once said, "I thought I was doing what was right. I did everything people expected of me." She got the job, raised the kids, kept the peace. But inside, she always wanted something else. "I never lived the life I truly wanted," she whispered. Not once. And the nurse who was with her said, this was the regret she heard the most. Not, "I wish I had made more money," but, "I wish I had been brave enough to live a life true to myself. Not the one others expected of me." If that feels familiar, there's still time. Chapter 2. I wish I hadn't worked so much. He had a quiet voice, always polite. A businessman, the kind who never missed a day of work. "I worked all the time," he said. "Even when I was sick, even when my kids had birthdays." He paused. "I thought I was doing it for my family." But near the end, no one ever asked about his job. His children just wanted him there, and he wasn't. "I gave my best years to a company that replaced me in a week." This is a regret I've heard from so many. They say it quietly. "I wish I hadn't worked so much." Not because work is bad, but because time doesn't come back. And the people we love can't wait forever. Chapter 3. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. She smiled when she said his name. "We were so close once. We used to laugh all the time." Her voice faded a little. Then life got busy and we just stopped calling. He never knew she remembered him, or that she still cared. She whispered, "I wish I had reached out." Over the years, I've heard this regret in many forms. I lost touch. I kept putting it off. I thought there would be more time. But there wasn't. Friendship doesn't end with a fight. It ends with silence. And one day it's too late to say, "Hey, I missed you." Chapter 4. I wish I had allowed myself to enjoy life more. She looked peaceful, but tired. "I didn't realize," she said, "that happiness is a choice. I kept waiting for everything to be perfect, for the work to slow down, for the house to be clean, for everyone to be okay. And then I'd finally enjoy myself. But that moment never came. There was always something. And now," she said it softly, "I wish I had laughed more, traveled more, danced more. I spent so much time being serious and forgot how to just feel joy." So many people told me this. They didn't regret their mistakes. They regretted not letting themselves feel happy while they still could. Chapter 5. I wish I hadn't cared so much about what others thought. He shook his head and smiled. "I wanted to be a writer. But everyone told me it was unrealistic, so I went into sales. He was good at it, made decent money. But I never loved it," he said. "I just didn't want people to think I was a failure." That line stuck with me. I didn't want people to think I was a failure. So many people make choices like that. They pick jobs, partners, even lifestyles, not because they want them, but because they're afraid of judgment. And in the end, those people they tried to impress, they didn't even show up. "I wish I hadn't cared so much," he said. "I should have done what mattered to me."
Chapter 6.
I wish I had spent more time with my parents. She didn't cry, but her eyes were far away. "My mother called me every Sunday," she said. "I used to feel annoyed. I was tired, busy. I thought, I'll call her back later." But one week, her mother didn't call, and that was the last week. "I never told her how much I loved her," she whispered. "How grateful I was. So many people have told me this. They thought there would be more time to visit, time to say thank you, time to say goodbye, but time ran out. I wish I had spent more time with my parents, not because they were perfect, but because they were mine." Chapter 7. I wish I had done that one thing I always dreamed of. He smiled when I asked him if he had any regrets. "Just one," he said. "I always wanted to see the Northern Lights. I talked about it for years. I looked up pictures. I even picked out hotels. But something always got in the way. Work, bills, life. I kept saying, one day, but that day never came. I wish I had done just one thing, the one thing I always dreamed of. Not because it would have changed his life, but because it would have made it feel complete." These were 7 regrets people whispered in their final days. Now let me ask you, what would you regret if today was your last day? If you've made it this far, you're not just watching a video, you're thinking about your life, your choices, your time. And that means you really care. Not everyone does. So thank you for being the kind of person who wants to live with fewer regrets. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these regrets hit you the hardest? Or is there one you've already avoided? Let's talk. The comments are open. And if this made you pause for even a moment, feel free to share it with someone you care about. I'm Japan Girl Shorts. On this channel, I share real stories about Japanese culture, society, and the hidden rules behind them. If this story meant something to you, a like would mean the world. And if you'd like to hear more, feel free to follow. See you in the next story. Until then, live with intention.